Well, it is official. Brock Purdy has signed one of the largest deals in the NFL. He has signed a 5-year, $265 million contract with the San Francisco 49ers. That includes $181 million in total guarantees. And I love this deal for the San Francisco 49ers. And I know everybody has been so against this, so against paying Brock Purdy, because apparently the only reason that he is a good player is because of the weapons around him, which I believe is complete bogus when you truly break everything down. And we'll obviously get into all of that in today's video. The former last overall pick, the man that was thrusted into this role, his first win against Tom Brady, so much he has accomplished over the last few seasons. I love this move for the 49ers. I can't say enough great things about him, enough great things about Brock Purdy, the guy that you want to lead your franchise. That's all I can say, really. He's the guy that you want leading your franchise. I think he is a borderline top 10 quarterback, and a lot of people wouldn't agree with me, but I think we can all agree that he's had a lot of great weapons. But the reason this team goes is because of Brock Purdy. Sure, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle. They have a lot of great weapons. Trent Williams, too. A lot of great players in the defensive side of the ball as well. This is a very talented roster. Brock Purdy is the reason that this team is so good, and he finally gets paid. Will they have to make some tough decisions? They already have. They lost a lot of guys on the defensive side of the ball. They had to trade Deebo Samuel. I don't even hate that move, honestly. I felt he's had a couple of down years. I think bringing Brock Purdy back is the most important thing. Now, I know that the 49ers had a down year last year, but when you really strip everything apart, they were the most injured team in football last year. Brock Purdy had no consistency on that team. It was a revolving door of weapons, of offensive linemen, of running backs, whatever. Christian McCaffrey missed time. Ayuk tore his ACL. Kittle missed a few games. Trent Williams missed a few games. It felt like every single player that Brock Purdy needed was not there. So you can't blame Purdy for last season. And the real full year that I got to watch Brock Purdy, he was an MVP candidate. He was that good. He was an MVP candidate 2 years ago. He went toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, something a lot of quarterbacks have never been able to do. And Brock Purdy was this close to winning a Super Bowl, snatching that away from Mahomes. But obviously, they would lose in overtime. You cannot blame him for that. And they have that down year this past year because of the injuries. We're not blaming that on Brock Purdy. But if you truly look at the season that he had 2 years ago, he was top 5 in virtually every single category. He was top 5 in passing yards, top 5 in completion percentage, top 5 in touchdowns, top 5 in quarterback rating, top 5 in rating in general. Everything you want, Brock Purdy can give that to you. He's extremely accurate, makes great decisions. And I think Brock Purdy is only going to continue to get better with this contract. That's the one thing that we know about him. Started off as the last overall pick, worked his tail off to just get a chance, took the Niners to the NFC Championship, tore his UCL, or else I think they probably win that game and make it back to the Super Bowl, and would have been there for consecutive years, has that crazy comeback win against the Lions the next year, gets to the Super Bowl. Brock Purdy is a winner. That's what we know him to be. And I looked at all of the different quarterback stats that you can look at and all of the different playoff wins. Brock Purdy has 4 wins in the playoffs and wasn't even in the postseason last year. And maybe you want to say winning isn't a quarterback stat, which I disagree with. I think winning in the playoffs is a big-time quarterback stat. Winning in the regular season is a big-time quarterback stat. There are 2 quarterbacks ahead of Brock Purdy in terms of playoff wins in the last 3 years. And Brock Purdy wasn't in the postseason last year. Patrick Mahomes, obviously, at 1 with 9 playoff wins in the last 3 years. Jalen Hurts is at 2, just won the Super Bowl with 6. Tied at 3 is Brock Purdy and Josh Allen, both with 4 playoff wins in the last 3 years. Brock Purdy has more playoff wins in the last 3 years than Lamar Jackson, who only has 2, Jared Goff, who also has 2, CJ Stroud, who also has 2, Joe Burrow, who has 2, Baker Mayfield, only 1, Matthew Stafford, Jordan Love, Dak Prescott, Trevor Lawrence. Those 4 quarterbacks only have 1 playoff win. And yet everyone wants to hate on Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant. But he's still showing up every single day, winning ball games. And that's what we know him to be. That's what we know Brock Purdy to be, regardless of the weapons. He's been an ultimate competitor, ultimate playmaker, and he makes this 49ers team better. They're going to finally be healthy this year. They're going to get McCaffrey back. They're going to get Ayuk back off of this torn ACL. Kittle got paid. He's coming back. Trent Williams is coming back. He's paid. Juwan Jennings was awesome last year as the number one receiver, and he's going to take a bigger role this year. Ricky Pearsall, their first-round draft pick, got shot in the chest last year. He's coming back fully healthy. This team's ready to go. They're finally healthy. I think that they can blow it out of the box. I think they can make the postseason again. I think they can be definitely competitive in the NFC, and everyone's just ready to write them off, which is just the craziest thing to me. But I can't get over how much I love this deal for the 49ers. And there are a few different reasons as to why. We understand that the salary cap continues to grow in the NFL and it continues to get bigger every single year. And when you look at paying quarterbacks, it doesn't always go well because it takes up so much of the salary cap. You look at the Bengals, for example, they paid Joe Burrow and that took up a huge part of their salary cap, almost 25%. They had to shell out money to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, but look at the rest of their roster. They really don't have as much money to go around. And that was the big question mark around Brock Purdy. Okay, if we pay you, we're not going to be able to have as much weapons for you because he was making no money on this last overall pick contract. He was making no money. So they were able to pay everybody else. And that's the big time concern when you pay these quarterbacks. It's like, okay, you better feel pretty confident that this guy can win a Super Bowl for you, or at least that you guys can be really competitive with him. Because if you can't, you're burning all this money. You're pretty much held hostage. I think that's the situation that the Dolphins are in right now. If Trevor Lawrence doesn't step up, that could be the position that he has them in. Look at the Cleveland Browns with Deshaun Watson. They have no money to shell out anywhere else. And this is a great tweet that I saw on Twitter here. When you look at Brock Purdy in terms of what he does with the quarterback contract value relative to the salary cap, everyone is like, oh my gosh, he's being paid so much money. Let's look at Brock Purdy and what this deal means in terms of the salary cap, relative to the salary cap, Joe Burrow is at number one, obviously. Signed a huge deal in 2023. That's almost 25% of the Bengals cap. Brock Purdy, his deal is less than 19%, which ranks 14th in the NFL in terms of quarterback contract value relative to the salary cap. Brock Purdy comes in at 14. You have guys like Kyler Murray, Jordan Love, Deshaun Watson, Lawrence, Tua, Goff. All of those guys come in higher in terms of dinging their team's salary cap. We don't see that with Brock Purdy. So this deal really isn't as bad as everyone kind of makes it seem to be. So I'm personally a big fan of this move. I'm a big fan of Brock Purdy. I believe that this 49ers team was super injured last year. They had that injury bug at such a high rate, the most banged up team in the NFL. As long as the team is just somewhat healthy next year, which it would be insane if this happened 2 years in a row, this 49ers team is going to make the playoffs. Everyone is acting like the Rams are going to run the division, which I think the Los Angeles Rams are really, really good. 49ers are going to be right there. 49ers are going to make the playoffs next year. Brock Purdy is going to prove to all the haters, everybody criticizing him, saying that he's only good because of his weapons. He's going to prove everyone wrong. He's going to prove that he is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. And quite frankly, he's one of my dark horse MVP candidates next year. Do not count out Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers. I'm Caden Kubler, and thank you guys for watching.